How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. An exciting win on this Friday afternoon against a team that I'm sure a lot of this fan base thought was going to just run right over us. But the Rangers come out with the win. Shesterkin gets another one, and an exciting third period for this team that's really, I think, going to instill some confidence into a maybe small minority of this fan base that is not yet convinced that the Rangers are a playoff team. I think this third period is a pretty good indication on where this team can go if they keep it up. Going into it, no announcements tonight, but the lineup: Kreider, Zibanejad, Kakko, Panarin, Strome, Hunt, Lafreniere, Hedl, Gauthier, Rooney, Gaudreau, Reeves, Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Trouba, Nemeth, Lundqvist, and Shesterkin in the net. We get into the first period. Rangers with a good early shift, and then Hedl line also gets a good early shift in this game. 5 minutes in, Rangers don't have a shot on goal. It's 0-4 in favor of Boston. Now, coming into this afternoon's game, the Rangers are 30th in the league for shots per game, only generating 28.2 shots per game. That is 30th. They're only better than two other teams in the league so far this year. 6:25, Pastrnak takes a high sticking penalty. There's 3 to 4 shot attempts on that power play, but still no shots. So the Rangers get a power play and still generate no shots. 9 minutes in, the Rangers finally get their first shot on goal from Trouba. 10:55, Kreider takes a slashing penalty, but just before that, Kakko was stopped in a desperation paddle save by Swayman, and it wouldn't be his only paddle save of the afternoon either. 12:45, Fox takes a high sticking penalty. So the Bruins get a 5-on-3 power play for about 10 seconds, but good penalty kill nonetheless. And I wrote good PK in my notes. 1 second after the Fox penalty is over, Smith would score the opening goal of the game. So, whoops. It was a good penalty kill. And then right when the penalty kill stopped, Smith gets it in. He made a good defensive play to keep it in the zone, and from the replay, from the overhead replay angle, it didn't look like Shesterkin had a fantastic angle on him. I think Shesterkin, after watching that, would have liked to have been more to his right to stop that shot, but it is what it is. At 18:20, Shesterkin stops a partial break for Hall, so that was good. And then at 19:54, with less than 6 seconds left in the game, Strome would score a goal to put his game point streak to 8 games. So Strome currently riding an 8-game point streak. Sneakily, although not so much anymore since we've been talking about it, sneakily one of the Rangers' most consistent players. Now, I think he has 10 points in 8 games and only 2 of them are goals, but he is still assisting on many goals for this team. So that line's still doing really well. That line did very well tonight as well. There was beautiful passing in the zone for about 40 seconds before he finally puts it in. So end of this first period, Rangers showing what most of the rest of this game is going to look like. Now, second period looked better than the first, then third period looked better than the second. So the Rangers did get better as we progressed through this game. At the end of the first period, shot 17-5 in favor of Boston. Rangers only generating 5 shots on goal. One of them did go in to keep the game tied, but 5 shots on goals, that is not good at all. Rangers need to take that momentum into the second period, and they did. Bruins also a very good team, though, so momentum's not all you need to beat a team like the Bruins. 17 seconds into the second period, Marchand takes a hooking penalty. Panarin and Strome also hook up for another goal. Strome had the open net, but he tried to pass instead of just shoot it. Strome does not like open nets. That is known among this fan base. They almost score again. Zibanejad hits the post. And then Lundqvist had a bad pass at the top of the offensive zone at the blue line. Almost led to a shorthanded chance for the Bruins. 4:30 into that period, Pastrnak and Marchand have a 2-on-1, but Miller skates back to catch Marchand before the shot. Now, Miller was the reason this 2-on-1 happened. He was at the top of the offensive zone. He crouched down to stop a puck from leaving. Puck gets through. Marchand and Pastrnak go the other way 2-on-1. Marchand holds on to it for a second longer than he probably should have, and that gave Miller enough time to come back and stop that shot from behind. So good on Miller fixing the mistake that he made. 6:51, Bergeron would score a goal, so that puts Boston up 2-1. It was fourth line versus first line. When the Rangers' fourth line is out against the Boston's first line, can you really be that upset that they scored? Like, yeah, that's going to happen. Boston kept pushing after the goal. Nemeth had a point shot that goes off the post. Shesterkin stops a slap shot from Pastrnak, who was inside the circle. It looked like it stung. Pastrnak and Marchand get another 2-on-1 chance, but that one is also stopped. Rangers have a good shift towards the middle of that period, and Kakko had a chance. Hedl and Lafreniere had net front chances. They would hook up for a nice goal later in the game. Hedl line has another strong shift. They were probably the best line of the game for the Rangers, the Hedl line. They're still playing really well. Then at 12:33, Hunt would score a goal, and he breaks the goal camera in the back of the net. They showed the replay from the goal camera, and the puck just goes right in. You can see the glass from the lens just shatter and spray all over the place. Very well aimed shot, although I'm sure he didn't mean to do that. Lindgren slap shot, and then Hunt gets the rebound, puts it in the back of the net. Rangers tie at 2-2. 30 seconds later, the Zibanejad line almost scores, but Swayman has another paddle save on a Zibanejad shot. That's 2 paddle saves for Swayman in this one game. So even though he lost and he let up 4 goals, he played pretty well for a rookie. Fox stops a Bergeron break. And then at 14:37, Panarin takes a high sticking penalty. Rooney and Gaudreau have a shorthanded look, but nothing really happens. In the final minute, Zibanejad has a rebound chance. And then in the final seconds, there's a flurry in the offensive zone for the Rangers in and around the crease, but nothing would slide in. Shots 19-12 in favor of the Rangers in that second period. So after being outshot 17-5 in the first, the Rangers outshoot Boston 19-12. So they're starting to even up the shots. They wouldn't quite get it to even by the end of the game, but they did their best. Third period, Boston controlling play for the first over 5 minutes of that third period. Hedl line has a shift in the offensive zone that kind of breaks up the momentum that Boston was building. 7:28, Kreider tries the Michigan lacrosse goal, and in real time, it looks like it just goes off the crossbar and out, and they keep playing. But a couple seconds later, the refs blow the whistle and they call it a goal. So the Rangers start celebrating, and I start celebrating as well because I think Kreider just scored a lacrosse goal. That's amazing. Only Svechnikov is allowed to do that. But they go to the review, and it didn't quite cross the goal line, so that goal is waved off. It's still 2-2. Halfway through the period, the play starts tilting back in the Rangers' favor. Boston doing really well controlling play, and they have a lot of offensive weapons that allow them to do that. 11:35, however, Panarin would score a goal. He bats the puck in right in front of the crease. So the shot gets thrown into the crease. Panarin baseballs it right into the back of the net. Rangers up 3-2. Boston almost scores with chaos in the crease, but it skirts wide. Bergeron almost tucked it in. And then at 16:22, Lafreniere would score a goal. It was a 2-on-1 with Gauthier, who had a 2-assist game. So Gauthier putting in the work and putting the points on the board. I'm really liking this third line for the Rangers, Hedl, Lafreniere, and Gauthier. They're building that chemistry, and Gauthier has some wheels. He is fast. When he gets cooking through the neutral zone and into the offensive zone, he is hard to stop because he's a big guy with some speed. He hooks up with Lafreniere to put the Rangers up 4-2. 2:37 left. They pull the goalie. Then at 19:03, McAvoy takes a tripping penalty, probably out of frustration because he knows it's not looking good for the Bruins. He tripped Rooney, but they also went knee to knee, and Rooney goes down. Now, he was fine, but the Rangers rightfully come and attack McAvoy. There's a scrum that ensues. So McAvoy gets the tripping penalty, but Gaudreau also takes a cross-checking penalty, so they are 4-on-4 for the rest of the game. And at 19:23, Trouba ices it with a beautiful empty net goal. He was behind Shesterkin. He was behind the Rangers' goal line when he throws it 200 feet down the ice and he gets it into the empty net goal. Rangers win 5-2. In the final seconds of this game, I'm not quite sure exactly when it happened. It was during a stoppage. Panarin and Marchand were kind of jawing at each other from their benches. Panarin takes his glove off and just throws it at Marchand. Like, all right. And I'm sure Panarin got kicked out of the game for the final couple seconds. He goes to the locker room, but it seemed a little childish. He just takes his glove off, throws it at him. Now, Marchand probably deserves it because it's Marchand, but still, like, come on. Really? You gonna throw your glove? But the Rangers do win at 5-2, and they close this one out for their third win in a row, I believe. And it's their 7th win in 8 games. If I'm remembering correctly, it's either 8th win in 9 or 7th win in 8. I think it's their 7th win in 8 games. They go 13-4-3 for this season. So in the first 20 games, Rangers are 13-4-3. Now tomorrow morning, I'm going to do a 10-game recap. We'll look over these past 10 games. Rangers are in pretty much the same spot they were in the first 10 games, so they are keeping it consistent since the last 10-game recap, but we'll go over that tomorrow. Stats for the end of this game: shots 31-36 in favor of Boston. Rangers 42.9% in the faceoff dot. Power play went 0 for 2. Hits 23-21 in favor of the Rangers. Blocks 17-4, also in favor of the Rangers. This game was on ABC, so no trivia question for this game, but I'm sure I wouldn't have known the answer. Rangers are back in action on Sunday against the Islanders again, who are still struggling to start this season. Now, there was some arguments to be made that the game on Wednesday should have been canceled due to COVID. Not canceled, postponed, just like we saw the Ottawa game earlier get postponed due to COVID. The Islanders, 3 players are injured and 7 players are on COVID protocols. If it was flipped, I'm sure the Rangers fan base would have argued to postpone the game. When you're only allowed to dress 20 players for a game, 12 forwards, 6 defensemen, and a goalie. So when you're missing over half your team, you could make the argument that the game should be postponed. So if the Islanders still have that many players in COVID protocols, maybe they argue to postpone the game because they're playing against a team that is probably going to beat them. And I'm sure Barry Trotz is going to argue that they wait until they're fully healthy so they have a fighting chance. As of right now, the game is not postponed, but it very well could be. If not, they're back in action 6 p.m. Sunday evening against the Islanders. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next rundown.